Jeff Cariaso is best known for his time playing professional basketball in the Philippine Basketball Association. After a successful career and several championships, he made the transition to coaching. He now is the head coach of the Alaska Aces and co-owner of Titan, a basketball concept shop and barbershop. He continues to inspire others through his passion and drive for the game we all know and love, basketball.
Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of In Love with Me, where we feature inspiring individuals who will share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafae Velasco, and for this series, our topic is being empowered during quarantine. For this episode, we have an empowered man, PBA legend, head coach, co-owner of Titan, and a dad to motivate us to take action. So without further ado, let's welcome the amazing Jeff Cariaso. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Mafae. Thanks for having me on. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Jeff. I know that you are probably busy planning what's next in upcoming days or month. But before I ask you what you've been up to during this quarantine period, please share with everyone on how you are the empowered and inspiring man that you are today.
Wow. Well, what's pretty amazing, and like your husband Nick, basketball has really opened up a lot of doors for me, and it's really my whole life. It started, with the passion of just playing as a little kid. I think most people know I grew up in San Francisco, California. My love for basketball was since the fourth grade, and it never stopped since then. What's nice about growing up in the States is you get to also play other sports. So I think me being able to play football and baseball and soccer, it really helped my development as a player. That when I did choose to finally just to stick to one, which was basketball, I think all the other sports kind of helped in my development. Basketball has opened the doors. Like I said, I played in high school, played in college, and then an opportunity came out here to play, and that was it. That I think that was my turning point. That was when I think I made my first big kind of big boy step. Where I'm leaving family and friends, and I'm coming to the Philippines. Our motherland. Where our families come from. But again, all of my side, or at least on my dad's side, they're all in the States, so everyone's there. So coming here was really just really coming to a foreign country for me, even if it was the Philippines. Um,
Mhm.
Family in Ilocos, my mom's from Ilocos, but again, not too close, and obviously they live far away. Um, so there, I think me coming here, being able to play basketball as a PBA player, it really opened up lots of doors to the person I am now. And I say that because, I am co-owner of Titan, and without basketball, I don't think I would have met the people that I did to be able to come together and form the group that again that brought to life Titan and the business. Um, Again, as you get older, you grow into a parent and a husband, and that's all just part of life that you develop into. And then the person I am now really is just a reflection of again stuff that you learn along the way. I can't say that we've learned everything already. I think I'm still trying to learn new things in all walks in life, in everything I do, whether it's coaching, whether it's parenting, being a husband, and in the business. So I think the growth that I've developed now is really just something, that I worked on as years go by. You learn a lot. You had a lot of failures, and you just kind of stay positive and kind of work through things. Um, a lot of people a lot of people get to a point like where I am is because of the failures, and I want people to understand that. And I wasn't always like this. I think 20 years ago, I may have, if I look back, I may have considered myself a little naive in a lot of things. So the 20 years, I think, again, with the growth and the learning and going through the experience, I think that has made me the person I am now.
And let's bring it back, okay? So when you had the opportunity, when you got that phone call of coming to the Philippines and being able to play the sport that you love so much, what was your mindset on coming here? And then what was your mindset experiencing what you did firsthand? I think we have similar, somewhat experience where we leave our comfort zone, right? And then we're like so excited because it's an opportunity. But then coming out here
Yeah.
and just seeing how it's totally different. First of all, the language barrier. I don't know.
Right.
Did you speak Tagalog in the States? Did you understand
Right.
already?
Right. I was able to understand, but speaking obviously was, far, so,
Right.
but at least I was able to understand.
And then the fact that, just taking a shower, not having warm water,
Hot
those
water.
kind of things.
That's
Can you
true.
share a little bit of what you experienced and knowing the fact too that social media was not around, I think,
Right.
I mean, for me personally, I spent a lot of my savings just calling overseas, telling my mom
Sure.
how much I missed her every day. So for you, how was it? Because I know yours was more
It,
challenging.
it was a struggle. So, if we just go back to the years, that was 93, 94 is when I would have to say, that was my trying time. That was kind of where I consider like God was like, all right, if you can get through these 2 years, then all right, I have something special for you. That's kind of how you look at it, now. But during that time, Mafae, oh my gosh, that was a struggle. So the word I'd like to describe those times was adaptability. So it's really just being able to adapt to just everything. Culture here is different. It's kind of it's old school in lots of ways. It makes you realize that you took for granted a lot of the little things when you were in the States. So again, hot water is one of them. Um, the garbage was always picked up properly. The streets were nice and clean. If you needed to go somewhere, even if you had to ride a bus, things were organized. It came on time and stuff like that. So, I mean, those are the issues you got to go through and understand. Now that you're in a third world country, but it wasn't easy. It really wasn't because it was really my first time. I was in college away from home, but to be in another country far away from home was really different. So, home cooked meals weren't too familiar. So you had to kind of learn and adapt. Oh, and then one thing that's huge here is laundry. Oh my gosh. I mean, we actually, my first couple of years in the PBL, we didn't have a washing machine. So we had to learn how to scrub and be able to hang it properly and do the little things that I think, again, when you look at it now, you're like, all right, it's a good character building, but it was tough.
Yeah, I can attest to that too, because I'm not saying that we were spoiled guys with warm water
Right.
in
Right.
for me Australia, but it's just that you appreciate the Filipinos and just being in the Philippines. It really makes you tougher,
Right.
right?
Right.
And the experiences that you've had and just hearing all your stories, from back then, it really made you the empowered man that you are today. And speaking of that, so getting into the PBA and the PBL, how different was it back then compared to now?
I think the obvious difference was, this issue that's still not, I don't want to say issue, but just the fact that, there are other players who are Filipinos that wasn't born here. So that constant talk on the Phil Lambs or the Phil Foreigners playing in the PBA. During that time, it was still fairly new, to be honest with you. I know Ricardo Brown was one of the first still Americans, but during my time and the years prior to me, so which is 95 and before that, to be honest, I could only remember Dwight Lago as the other Phil American, and his brother was still in college, Elmer. But then after that, maybe 2 or 3 years after, there was an influx of Phil Lambs, and it just kind of never stopped. The biggest difference I would say is that during that time, it wasn't as accepting as it is now. I think the mindset of the people here is different compared to how it was before, and we can say that the thinking then, it was a lot of selfish kind of thinking where this guy is not even from here, but he's trying to take a spot or a position away from me. That competition level or thought wasn't as open as it is now. So but it wasn't too bad. I mean, a lot of the fellow athletes that you played with and against, a lot of them were open. A lot of them took it as, okay, this is a challenge. I need to be better in my position and kind of make sure that I'm up to par to what that guy's doing. And I really think, the influx of the Phil Foreigners has improved the level of the game in the PBA, and I don't doubt that, just one bit. That was a big difference how it is now. But like I said, you have to have started somewhere, and to be part of that and to see it kind of blossom and see the mindset kind of grow and develop into something more positive now, I think is really special.
And Jeff, you played for so many years, right? How many years to be exact?
15.
15 years.
15.
And I was just having a discussion with another basketball player, and they were, and I have discussions with my husband all the time, how blessed players are who are able to reach more than 3 years. Because normally, like, you're already blessed to even be able to have 3 years under your belt. But for you, 15, and there's some other guys that are reaching, more than 20.
17,
so
yeah.
Can you share on how you were able to extend your career? And, was there a certain mindset or work ethic that you had going for you?
Right. I think the mindset at the time was really just as a player. And again, let's just make clear that, the passion and the love, that's there, that's a given. Me wanting to play at a high level, that's a given. But the mindset during that time is, again, never to wither in your work ethic. So there was a constant mindset where I wanted to improve each and every year. I wanted to make the national team. I wanted to make the All-Star team. I wanted my team to be in the finals every single conference. So what comes with that is a big responsibility to walk the walk and talk the talk. So you cannot just tell guys to be more aggressive or to play at a high level when they're not working on their craft or they're not doing anything to improve themselves. So I think that was one example. I wanted to make sure, as a captain, as one of the leaders of the team, is to really lead by example, is to show that, hey, you need to be at a level to be able to get guys to perform at a different level. And when you have a team that does that, and I've played with a few teams where everyone is kind of bought into that mindset, then good things happen. That ultimate goal of a championship, it's there. It happens. But to be able to last that year, I think that was one. And then the other is really just me taking on the challenge that there's always a younger kid trying to take my position every year. So I took that as a challenge. I wanted to be better. I wanted to last as long as I can. We know basketball, we know professional athletes, it's a part of your life, but it's not your whole life. And when in the grand scheme of things, when you look at it kind of when you're older, is it's really just what 20-30% of your life,
Mhm.
and in the career that you actually choose. So to be able to play for 15, I think was special, and those are the things that those are the mind that was the mindset that I had during that time.
And then, of course, I think this is more of a personal experience because when you retired, I think we Nick also retired at the same time. We all ended
Right,
up in the States together, right?
right,
Um, there was also a discussion I had with I spoke to Topex Robinson about you know, for you, of course, you had a different career compared to him, but you had, you know, closure somewhat. You had a party. I remember you had a party, and then you were
hmm
going to announce something exciting, like, you know,
right,
your company now. But let's talk about the experience of leaving the Philippines, going back to America, because we went to that, and it was not
right,
easy. But for you, how did it feel, and what kept
right.
you going?
Well, I think during that time it was really the thinking that I kind of wanted to see what kind of career I can kind of make and do and start up, in the States. So, when I retired, I was there for a year, but it was a long year. It was a tough year. And the challenge there was kind of reestablishing yourself. Um, and it's a little bit more difficult when you are 38, compared to when you're in your late 20s and you want to change careers and do things. So all the challenges was there during that time with trying to start over, trying to find what it is I'd like to do. And it wasn't as easy as I thought. It wasn't as easy as I thought. But the blessing there was I also didn't know that there was going to be an opportunity for me back here in the Philippines. That opportunity came a year later, and it was as simple as a phone call with, Coach Tim, giving me a call asking if I'd like to join his coaching staff because he was moving from Alaska to San Coffee, which is Pure Foods now. Um, and, I just looked at it as one of those things where, God is kind of putting you where you belong. And I really believe that. And I didn't know it. I didn't know it at the time, but I'm just glad that I was open enough to kind of accept that invitation to see where it would lead me. And I've been here ever since. So
I remember that phone call you made to Nick, and
yeah,
I was like, looking
yeah,
at him like, are you fishing
yeah,
something too?
yeah,
But
yeah,
I feel as though that what made you guys kind of have a refresh button to, because Nick was always wanting to go back, wanting to, be with
right,
his family, but then realize, like
right,
you said, at 38, it's really challenging to start all over again. And that's the same thing that we did. For him, it was a
right.
challenge. Yeah, you guys were kind of like in the same boat, and then
We
we all
were,
ended up back here. So
we
I think it was
were,
more of strengthening our core
right,
again, and
right,
realizing, wow, okay, we had it good in the
right,
Philippines. So
right,
leading back, yeah, you're back, and you have Titan now. So how
right.
did that all start?
Well, I'm very fortunate to during my career that I was with Nike pretty much my whole career, and that was where I met a guy named Dennis Tan who was part of Nike during that time, and um, he actually came up with this awesome idea. I want to say in 2009, early 2009. So it was a year and a half before I retired. I retired in 2010. And he actually, again, our relationship was really close. He was living in Singapore, working for Nike. And we were always close. We kept in touch. He's a ninong of my son. And it's one of those things where he actually just came up with this idea that he wanted to start something new, start something fresh. And to be honest with you, at the beginning, I was kind of tentative because I knew at the end of that year, I was moving to the States for a year. And I wanted to make sure, in regards to, financially, I wanted to make sure I had enough to kind of make sure you sustain yourself because you don't know exactly what's going to happen when you're there. But you know, again, it didn't take long for him to convince me. So speaking with him a couple times, you know, I said, you know what, I'm all in. You know, let's do this. And 10 years later, yeah, it is what it is now. And we talk about it all the time, how we never saw or foreseen the future of tying on how it is now. We never thought it would be how it is now. It's kind of just rolled, and again, it grew to what it is now. And you know, we're constantly making changes. And again, this pandemic is another example of that. But it's something that I think is within what we all like and what we all love and what we're all passionate about. It's just a different side of it. And you know, again, I'm just lucky I said yes to my friend Dennis.
Congratulations, been 10 years. My gosh, that's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
been 10 years. It's pretty
You know,
awesome.
that's something I admire about you is that, you know, your network and how you value your network. I see you have used your platform to really gain friendships or even family now. Like you said, he's a godfather to your son. And that's something that I always talk about with my kids. Like, you know, you have to be nice to everyone. You just never know where you guys will meet again. So for you, of course, even while you were a player, I just saw from a distance that you were always taking care of the people around you. So can you share, of course, with athletes now or even the youth on how important it is to really be good to others?
Wow, that's such an amazing question, Mafae. It really is, because the answer is really it's something I think that most people need to realize is kind of like the secret. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it really is. It's a little bit more than it's who you know. You know, a lot of there's that saying, it's who you know. It helps. Don't get me wrong. It helps here in the Philippines. But when you are part of a team, or you're part of an organization, or part of a group that's doing whatever it is that you're doing, um, I think the key for a group to be successful, because you know, more than likely you're trying to do something, you're trying to achieve something, you're trying to sell something, right? You're trying to be the best at something. It really is how you bond and how you relate to the people that's around you. Because again, you know, just the analogy of a basketball team, you know, there's five of you on the court constantly, and you five need to be on you know, understand that you have to play at a high level. And to play at a high level, you need to communicate well, you need to know each other well, and all that. And then what if you throw someone else in there? That person needs to kind of be able to be on the same boat as everyone else. So being nice is you hit it right on the dot. You know, be respectful always. Understand that, you know, there's people out there that, you know, that need your help as much as you'll need theirs. And if you have a mindset of really just being genuine and honest, and you know, you'll attract people. You really will. So it's not a big secret. You know, if you're like that, then you know, people want to be part of you. You know, they'll want to join you. They want to, you know, be where you are. It won't you know, take so much for you to invite and ask people to come join you, because you know, you've kind of displayed that aspect of you, and people trust and believe in you. So that's really my 2 cents. I share that to my kids. I try to be the example. I'm not perfect, but I try to be that example always. So.
Yeah, but with all your success, Jeff, you know, that's something I think, like you said, it's walking the walk. You know, words can mean so much, but if you don't act that way, or you know what you want to do, like, you know, the good things that you want to do, then you know, it's like a domino effect. You know, so with that, who were your biggest mentors on who helped shape you through your basketball career to now your business career?
Right. Oh, interesting. Wow. Well, you had one guy on this, and I think he's watching now, who's been a big kind of influence in me. I think more than he knows it. But Joe Fish is a guy. You know, I know he told his whole story, and this, you know, I think an hour wasn't enough, right? You,
No.
you guys could have another 3 hours. But I first met him when he described him working at Canning Kip, that was in the South of Market area. But his relationship with me is really just kind of just straight up, just he advised me on things. I'd always appreciate his thoughts and what he had to say, and I still do. Um, when I have a question, every once in a while I'll throw it at him, see what he thinks or what he says, because a lot of it is me wanting to know, and me needing help in that regard. So he was one. Joe Fish is one. I think my dad was a big influence. Honestly, from day one, um, he wasn't the type of father that was kind of pushing me. Okay, you got to work hard. You got to push. You got. He wasn't that type of a father to me. He was more of, okay, if this is what you like, then okay, I'll support you. It was more of me kind of needed to go to him if I needed something or if I needed advice. So he's one. And then there's a lot of players that I think have really helped kind of in my career. Early in my career, as I was trying to get used to the style of play in the PBA, I would say Johnny A was a big influence to me. He helped me kind of understand how to be successful on and off the court. So he was awesome. We always talk about our Alaska Grand Slam team. So JoJo in his ways, he'll tell me, he's really straight up. So he'll tell me, if I was doing anything wrong. But very influential. Sean Chambers, guy from Sacramento in the States, loved Filipinos. He was also a big influence. And then later on in my life, players that you played with, a lot of them really set the examples that you really didn't need to kind of look anywhere else. So, I love playing with Rudy Hatfield. I love playing with Eric Mix, those guys. So they've kind of pushed me to be better because I saw how hard they were working. And even though they were my teammates or they played different positions, they had that work ethic of nonstop wanting to get better. And I think we all took a page from each other in that regard. And then in business, to be honest with you, again, this is something that was fairly new to me in 2010. You focus on your career and you try to be the best athlete that you can. You try to be the best teammate as you can. So you learn about leadership, you learn about sacrifice. But then business is a totally different thing. So even till now, we all understand in what exactly our roles are, and we are clear with all the details. We all know the numbers. We all know what's happening each and every day. But again, we're specific in our department. So just kind of championing that, and like a team, you champion each other's department, and then you come up to and become what Titan is now. So a lot of these guys that work at the office, they're the ones that are in the nitty gritty of things. So they deserve all the credit, to be honest with you. But again, teamwork never fails. Us respecting each other and everyone just kind of working hard. That's really, the values that we bring each and every day.
Mm-hmm. So, with those powerful words of wisdom you just shared, can you also share with us, like bringing it back to being a player, being a coach, and I guess, just preparing for a business meeting? Do you have a certain ritual or habit to get you hyped or ready to play the game, to coach the players, or even have a board meeting?
Right. Wow. I think when you're preparing for, if I can label all that as like battle, right? If you're preparing for battle, or you're about to go to battle, I think the key word there is preparation. It really is. So you being ready for what's forward. So before we got on today, I went back and made sure, like since yesterday, like maybe 5 times, look back at your questions and made sure, all right, she's gonna ask this. I want to make sure I'm ready. I wanna, wanna share this story with this. I wanna make sure. Okay, I don't want to say this, that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just that, and in a small aspect, it's just preparing yourself. We spend a lot of time practicing, so I think that is key, so that you try to cover every situation. So come game time, guys are prepared, right? So it's kind of natural, and your instincts will come out to react the way you'd like. So that during that tough situation, when they're in a crossroad, they'll decide hopefully the correct thing. That's what we can hope for as a coach. But yeah, even with the meeting with the guys, it's we have topics that's sent to us ahead of time. We just want to make sure that if there's any questions we have with any of that, I'm ready to ask, and whatever it is that we're discussing, it's clear. So my word for your question is preparation.
Mm-hmm. And then being a dad, of course, being a
Could
parent,
never
you
be
kind of like,
prepared for that.
so what is the difference of, I guess, you become a life coach, Jeff,
Right.
you've become a really a leader to a lot of people. So how
Right.
different is it, mentoring your children, of course, being a basketball player, now a head coach, and also part of a big company, there is a certain balance. So how do you balance your family life to your career now?
Right. Well, I think the balance has to be clear, that when I do have meetings for Titan, or we have events for Titan, or when we have practice or games for Alaska, that's what that does. That's work. That's kind of what he does to kind of put food on the table, and so you can go to Ateneo and have your own condo. So that.
Hi, Aya. She's tuned in.
She's right here too. And, so when you come home, I think that's who you are. It's deep. It's kind of you a little bit more relaxed. So being a dad, like you said, it's a forever. You're forever a life coach once you become a dad. And there's responsibility that you want to make sure that they understand. There's values you want to make sure that you instill in them, so that when they are moving forward and they are kind of on their own a little bit, you trust that they'll make the right choices. Just like all the other parents out there who are raising teenagers and college kids. But it's special, because you're kind of grooming your little one, who's not so little anymore, but you're grooming your little one to kind of try to be the best person that you think she can be, along with kind of the stuff that she likes and what her interests are. So it's just a combination. So that's why I say it when I said, that's what I mean when I say, when you become a parent, there's no preparation. No matter what preparation you think you have, it's there's always a wrench in the engine, and there's always something that's gonna challenge you a little bit more. But again, that's life and that's parenting. But again, I'll take it. It's not a problem.
And I think I have to congratulate you, because I think you and Nick are just playing tennis,
Right.
with having children.
Oh my God,
But we're
exactly.
done. Are you done?
Oh, we're done. Trust me.
Well,
We're done.
kids are a blessing, and they keep us young, they keep us on our toes. And speaking of that, I want to welcome someone that is from the Bay Area too, that wants to give you a special message and say hi and to catch up.
Oh, nice.
So hello.
Who is that?
Hey.
There he is. What's up, Nick?
What up, brother?
How you
Good to see
doing,
you, man? Doing good, doing good. Did you put on weight, or you lost weight during this lockdown? I know you've been working out.
I lost weight, so that's kind of been my own personal goal. So you have the time to kind of improve yourself. So that was where I focused on. So
That's awesome,
Yeah,
man. Hey, looking forward to seeing you guys get back on the court. Hopefully that's soon.
We are also. So like I said, we're just kind of doing our part, waiting around while we can, take advantage of the home workout. But nothing beats getting on the court and practicing, right? So in time.
What's the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself during this period, Jeff?
Oh, wow. The biggest thing I've learned, I would have to say, is um, you know, things really can be just taken away quick, you know. So you get used to a lifestyle, you get used to a way of life, you get used to being able to do things sort of like a routine. But then, you know, the reason why we have to be, and again, I'll use the word I used earlier, the reason why we need to be adaptable is because there's always, again, that that wrench in the engine where it's gonna kind of throw you off. And this has really thrown off not just obviously us, but everyone around the world. And it has changed the mindset in a way where we're hoping it's for the better. I think there's a lot of good that's kind of come out of this. There's a lot more people voicing out their opinions and their you know, their wants and their dislikes. Um, it's just now the question is the platform they're using. I think you know what I mean. But I love that. I love everyone exercising their rights. I love everyone being able to share what's on their mind. And I think it has awakened a lot of people and their mindset. So with me, I think, you know, I'm also that guy. I'm also learning from what I'm seeing, from what I'm watching, and I'm just trying to take it all in and see where I can be, you know, where it applies to me and my family and how I can be better.
Nick, I know you love your pillar question. You want to ask Jeff that?
Yeah. And before I get to that, you know, just want to let Jeff know how much of an inspiration he's been to all of us from the Bay Area. You know, I'm from Stockton, California, and even in Stockton, we were following, you know, Jeff Cariaso in his his younger years, and then a lot of people don't know this, but me and Jeff played for the same Phil-Am team in the States in San Francisco, but we never met because he had already left and decided to, you know, set his roots down here in the Philippines. And that's when I joined the team. Me and Rob Duat joined it after he left the team already. So I was there with Frank McKinney, Terrence Mullins, James Walkvist, Mark Quebec, Joel Salas, Rob Taloy, all those guys. I was there with them, and me and Rob were so young, and they would tell us all the stories about Jeff and how Jeff's doing it big in the Philippines. So you know, big shout out to Mark Quebec and those guys, because I know they molded Jeff, and then they took me and Rob and they did the same with us. They prepared us for the Philippines. So there's a lot of principles that we were ingrained in early in our basketball lives in the Bay Area because of that team. I want to know from Jeff, what are your pillars? I've heard you speak about this with the junior NBA. What are your pillars to success in the foundation that you've built? Because you're extremely successful.
Well, you know, again, to be honest with you, these pillars seem to kind of change a little bit as you get older, right? And as you learn that, okay, this isn't going to work, and you kind of scrap that out and then throw something else in there. But to be honest with you, if I was to attribute how things are for me now in regards to, you know, again, basketball with Alaska and being able to have the opportunity to lead the team, and then with Titan and how things are there, and even how you kind of bring it home and apply it, I think you could sum it up with, and again, I mentioned maybe the first pillar for me would be just honesty and being straight up. I think that's crucial. That's crucial because, you know, when you're honest, a lot of times it's not what the other person wants to hear, and you don't know that, but that's helping that person. And then a lot of times with you being honest with yourself during the times that you struggle and you're having a hard time, if you could honestly kind of assess what's happening, then you could find a way to kind of maneuver in and get over it. So honesty is one. Number two is, and we talked about it earlier, Mafae, was relationships. You know, the people around you are around you for a reason. So, you know, when you're part of a team, you know, and I always use basketball as an analogy, not everyone is going to be your super close, tight, you know, guys that you hang out with. Not all the time. Not everyone on the squad. But there are that few that you know that you can 100% trust. You can leave your kids with them. You can open up and kind of be more yourself. Um, so the people around you are important because again, they help you grow. They help whatever it is that you're trying to achieve at the moment become a reality. And they're with you through the ups and the downs. They're with you through the grind. So my relationship with guys on the team are special, and we were able to win championships because we found a way to be together and do things special, do special things. And then this allowed me to also again meet people who right now we're 10 years in the business with. So I think as you understand, you'll know. I mean, most people will know if people are not 100% honesty or honest. I'm sorry, people you'll know there's a feel there. So but just trusting and not worrying about how things will kind of play out is really crucial. Then number three, I would say, and it never fails, it's really your work ethic, right? There's a constant work ethic that you got to bring each and every day. And whatever it is your role as of now, whatever it is that you're doing right now in your life, there's room to improve that. So quarantine has allowed me to be a better husband, to be a better dad to the kids. This allowed me to kind of make me better personally and improve myself so I could lead the guys at Alaska. And then, because it has affected us business wise, at times, you try to find ways again to kind of get over the hump or to get out the water, if you'd like to say, because again, these challenging times are affecting everyone. So there's growth in everything that you do. As long as you kind of not willing to, or you're willing to grind, good things will happen.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Nick, you have anything else to ask Jeff?
And thanks for that
No,
comment before you asked the question. I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
I think there's a lot of people. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
Go. No, go ahead. Ladies first.
There's a lot of people that look up to you and they're tuned in right now. So let's give them a shout out. We have Harvey saying, I have so much respect and love for Coach Jeff. There is Dwiner. Winner.
Yes.
We have.
He's a winner. Dwin is a winner.
Yes, sir.
We have Napoleon. He's been commenting the whole time, and of course, you saw earlier Joe Fish is tuned in. Hi, Joe.
What's up, Fish?
Joe Fish.
We have, of course, Nico and Aya using the platform to say hello to each other.
Hi, guys.
Like you said, the people in your network becomes family, just like our children have grown to see both of you succeed in your career, and they're pretty much like a brother and sister, and I appreciate that. Thanks, Aya, for being a good friend to Nico. And probably my last question for you is, especially at this time, there's a lot of people at home, have a lot of time. A lot of the kids are at home too. So it's probably two questions in one. What would be your advice to your younger self in line with advice you will be giving to all the young athletes that have a lot of time right now on how to be, I guess, better prepared, most especially at this time?
Well, to my younger self, let's start with that. I'd probably recommend, with a little bit more force that, hey, listen more to what, these older people are telling you. Listen more to the advice that your parents and even older friends or uncles that may have for you, because there is wisdom in what they're saying. A lot of times, especially you get to your kind of like mid-20s, you kind of feel like you know everything already. But little do you know that your life is only starting, and there's so much that you can improve on and be better at. And if you kind of, if there's one thing maybe you could get in regards to advice in one particular topic during that time, that might kind of change the course of your life in a more positive way. So I would say just listen a little bit more to what people have to say, because they have the experience and the wisdom to speak of it. And then just during this quarantine, I think what another thing that I've kind of focused on is your family's there. So just being kind of forced to be right next to each other 24/7 for the past kind of 4 months. There's a closeness that you kind of develop even more. You do what you can in the mornings or late afternoons with work, right? So you get your emails done, you answer questions, you go to meetings, all good stuff, to kind of get back into the nick of things when it comes to your business. But one thing I think I focus a little bit more of, and not to sound selfish, is kind of yourself. And whether I'm studying a little bit more now to because I have the time to be a better coach. I'm also looking forward to me kind of improving myself personally in regards to health and fitness. So I've made an attempt the last three months to be a little bit more conscious in regards to working out and eating properly, and you feel better. You feel better. You're more relaxed. You're healthier, and if you kind of improve yourself, from within, spend a little time to kind of think about how you can improve yourself. And like I said, with me, it's just trying to get into better shape. Then everything else kind of works out, and you're a much better kind of version of yourself, and you hear that a lot. So I really truly believe that. So that's my quick advice to everyone, and I hope it helps.
And
well, hey
probably,
man, I love what you said, because I actually did the opposite of that. I went through most of my career. I didn't listen to too many people. I didn't take advice, and I fell into a lot of pitfalls because of that, where if I had more mentorship, or if I listened to people more, I wouldn't have made so many mistakes. But of course, those mistakes made me grow into what I am now, and I learned from it. And that's the key. But like a perfect example is Joe Fish with Harvey Carey.
Right.
They're watching the show right now, and Joe's been there every step of the way with Harv ever since the beginning of his career, even before his career, even up to now. And I'm fortunate that I kind of tapped into that group, and we talk every day. So I take all that advice to heart now, and I run everything by my guys, and I make better decisions. So that's great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice for the young guys.
Right.
and we have to give a shout out to one of your mentors, Jeff. Sean Chambers is watching.
Oh, Sean Chambers.
What's up, Sean? Nice to see you.
So we have
what up, Sean?
Alaska legend.
Sean used to give me the business.
So, of course, we have to give a special shout out to Joe. I think he's been a great mentor to everyone. Jeff mentioned that earlier too. And, as a dad, what would be your words of wisdom to dads right now who need that extra motivation and to feel hope after this challenging time, Jeff?
Well, I would say, to first understand that it's not just you who's kind of going through the changes and the hardship or the struggles. I think what's crazy about this pandemic is it has thrown everyone off completely. So I know we're, in some areas of the world, there's a lot of people kind of reopening and things are being a little bit, normal. But where we are in the Philippines, I would say I think there's still a need to be a little strict and careful, because I don't think we've hit that level where it's safe to be out yet. That's just number one. But to dads going through, their own personal struggles, I think there's always a positive in every situation if you look for it. A lot of times when you have issues and you have struggles and problems, that kind of overshadows everything else. But there is a lot of hope in things. I think if you kind of recognize what that is and you kind of stay there and be focused there, I think that'll help you kind of be a little bit more relaxed and open to be able to deal with the problem that you're going through. So that also keeps you sane. That keeps you kind of confident. That keeps you positive, and that's where you have to kind of be right now, because a lot of the reasons for these changes and troubles and problems are things that you cannot control. So if you cannot control them, you control what you can control, and which is yourself and how you handle things and how you approach things. So stay positive, work out, find some time alone sometime, get your mind off of things, listen to music, work out, like I said, and keep the distance, because I think soon we'll be able to overcome this.
Yes. And now, Jeff, I'll give you a chance to give your shout outs, and also, of course, what's going on with Alaska in the near future with Titan. Where can people order if they're missing their Titan products? Go ahead.
Thanks, Mafae. Just quick shout out to just my Alaska family. They've been very supportive, and the guys on the team have been really awesome in regards to the program that we're putting them through each and every day. I have family all over, so family from the States, especially California. Hello to everyone there. Special shout out, of course, to Joe, who's in Singapore, and just all the people who are listening. I hope what I was able to share today, you'll be able to relate to a little bit. And hopefully you'll be able to find some wisdom in some of the things I said to help you. So that's really the goal. But just with Titan also, again, when you have a business and everyone knows that we're a specialty shoe store, that's not an essential. That's the last on the list. You're not gonna want to buy a pair of shoes during this time. We totally understand that. So these challenges, I think, with the guys, again, working hard and trying to find a way to stay afloat, we know that good things will happen in the near future. Just know that Titan is still there. You can catch us online in our app and our website. So that's pretty much it. More than anything, I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to share my story. Always good to see you, Nick. As I appreciate you and appreciate everyone that's watching.
Of course, Jeff, we had to share your story. I'm interested to know so many things. But of course, your journey is ongoing. And I know right now, Jeff will be more than happy for anyone who would want to ask more questions or even advice. I'll make sure to put Jeff's social media, as well as the links for Titan and Alaska, what's going to happen, what they've been up to. A special shout out, Marvin Quebec is watching you guys.
Oh, Marv, what's up, Marv?
Big Marv, there he is.
Yeah, Big Marv. How you doing,
so thank
Marv?
you, everyone.
God. All those guys.
Thank you, everyone, for supporting Jeff and the platform of In Love With Me. My takeaways from Jeff today, so many, but the key ones that I learned from his is walk the walk, then talk the talk. I think that's very, very important. Learning is key. Nonstop education, of course, is an amazing thing to have, and respect everyone. So guys, don't forget, actions speak louder than words. And thank you for tuning in another episode of In Love With Me. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Mafae.
Love you, brother.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for watching In Love With Me series.